Hello and welcome to a quick update video on OpenSeesMPI. I just released version 1.1 of OpenSeesMPI. It's available for download on my GitHub. Just a couple changes with it, mostly just a couple new features. So I'm just going to go over them really quickly, and so let's get into it. So first of all, I adjusted how the arguments are parsed to OpenSeesMPI. And if you don't know, OpenSeesMPI is just a Windows batch file that calls MPI exec and the version of OpenSees that's installed on your path. So it's not an actual executable, it's just a batch file. That being said, what it does is it basically, the basic use is you just do -n and the number of processes and the input file. However, I also added advanced use. Part of this was already there before, but if you want to include extra input arguments to your input file. So if you have some OpenSees file that takes in command line input and stores it in argv and gets it from there, then you can do that now. You just have to signal the end of the MPI options with a double dash, and then you can do the input file and the input arguments. Additionally, I also made the variable name argument optional for receive. This is to be more in line with the OpenSeesMPI version of the command, which does not include that variable name argument. And so it just gives you a little more flexibility of how you like to use the receive command. I also added the broadcast command, or bcast. And basically what this does is it sends data from process 0, and then all of the other processes receive it. So all processes have to call broadcast, and then the input on process 0 gets sent to all of the other processes, and they all return the same value. So it's a great way to make sure that all of the processes have the same data. And that's about it. So I'm just going to quick show some examples for that. So first of all, go to the with input here. So this is just a really simple Tickle script. It just says my name is, and then I take the index of the input arguments based off of the process ID number. So I'm just going to open up a command window here, OpenSeesMPI, and let's do 5, and then you have to signal the end of the MPI arguments with the double dash, and then you can do with input.tcl, and then let's do Alex, Bob, Sally, Sue, Fred. In this case, each of them gets assigned a different process, and they all terminate. So that's that. Then there's the new receive syntax. So instead of assigning it to a variable, it can be passed as the result of the command. So here it's just a different way to represent the same thing. So this will work the same as the other, as the traditional syntax. So this is the traditional syntax, receive -PID, PID number, and then the variable you want it to go into. This one, I'm saying set attendance as the result of receive from that process. So depends on what you like. If you're going to be writing something that you want to use on OpenSeesMP as well, then just stick to this syntax. But if you're working exclusively with OpenSeesMPI, feel free to use this other syntax. So I'll quick show that it works here. OpenSeesMPI and 5 rollcall.tcl, or rollcall2.tcl. There you go, works just fine. And as I mentioned before, but the double dash, that works as well, even if you have no input arguments. So you're safe to use the double dash before the file name. It's required if you have extra input arguments, but if you don't, you can still use it. And lastly, it's broadcast. So here's a simple example. So I'm broadcasting from process 0, hello world, and then all the other ones just receive that broadcast. And then it just repeats the message from a certain process. So I'll quick show that. OpenSeesMPI, let's do N4, and let's do broadcast.tcl. There we go. So it broadcasted hello world to all of them. And that's about it. Again, download will be in the description. If you have any questions, just drop a comment. Thanks, and have a great day.